Hello, beautiful people. My name is Jo. Let's talk about some of my ACOTAR unpopular opinions. Don't look at my nails. They look like shit. I'm sorry. Okay, so since I have just recently reread ACOTAR for the SJM along, and it is one of my favorite series, I figured why not rip it to shreds? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rip it to shreds. Yeah, let's do that. Because I have so many things that grind my gears, little nitpicky bullshit things that I want to talk about, this is only gonna be part one of my ACOTAR unpopular opinion series. So if you've only read book one, ACOTAR, you can stay. You can stay, baby. Every single one of these unpopular opinions that I'm going to share with you today are from book one. Let's get into it, shall we? So at the beginning of the story, Feyre killing the Fey Wolf person thing is at best unrealistic and at worst completely ridiculous. Also, her being able to carry an entire wolf pelt as well as deer meat miles and miles and miles back to the cottage when she's got holes in her shoes, she's facing starvation, she's malnourished. There's no fucking way. There's absolutely no fucking way she would have died. There are so many times in this book where Feyre should have died, but she just scraped by with the skin of her teeth. Like, luck was on this woman's side throughout the entirety of this book. When the sisters go to sell the wolf pelt at the market, they meet this female mercenary. That specific female mercenary has more story potential than 2 out of 3 of the Archeron sisters. I'll let you decide which one of the Archeron sisters has the most story potential. Spoiler alert, it's not Feyre. When Feyre finally gets to the spring court, she sees their Fey forms, you know, whatever the fuck. The whole mask thing is corny as hell, and honestly, if they were actually wearing those masks for as long as, you know, they had been, would they not all have like fucking awful tan lines? Like, can you imagine? I think Lucian is a jackass throughout the entirety of the first book. He sends Feyre on literal suicide missions and everybody's still like, oh honey, oh baby, oh Lulu, my love. He's the worst. I'm sorry. The whole solstice thing where Tamlin and Feyre are dancing reminds me of Twilight in the worst possible way. It's so corny. It's so cheesy. They might as well just lay in a fucking flower field. Speaking of the solstice thing, only weenies play the fiddle. Only weenies. That should have been a red flag right there, okay? Can you imagine a big, scary, hot Fey man playing the fiddle? I can. And it's sketchy. One person that I feel like deserves so much more is Alice. If she wasn't gonna get a storyline, she shouldn't have been introduced at all. Oh lord, Feyre going after what seems to be her dad is bullshit, and she is an absolute ding-dong. Somehow, she seems to weasel her way through these situations. She should have been dead. She's a damn ding-dong, okay? People like to joke a lot about Feyre's painting skills, but I want to joke about Feyre's hunting skills. I genuinely don't believe she's that good of a hunter. And there just ain't no way that Feyre the human weenie snagged the cereal on the first try. I just think it's so unbelievable. Calanmai was fucked up, and we all know it. The cauldron or whatever the fuck made him choose another. We were still hot on that Fey ass? No! Nasty man. Nasty. Amarantha's riddle was honestly dumb as hell, and I think that Amarantha is such a lame villain. She wasn't even really that scary. She was pretty much just like a toddler having a tantrum because somebody took their favorite toy. Also, I don't understand the whole obsession with Tamlin. Why is she obsessed with Tamlin? She literally enslaved an entire continent because her boy toy didn't want to be her toy. I don't fucking like her. She's so stupid. Also, Feyre not being able to read is a weird ass plot point. I feel like Sarah J Maas has at least one illiterate female character in every single one of her series, and I am so tired of that plot line. I am so sick. It's like it was only there so that she could have trouble in the trials, which in the trials, she was a fucking shitstorm the majority of the time. Rhysand should have helped Feyre out more under the mountain. He pretty much let her die before forcing her into a bargain, which I think is shitty. He also painted her body and, you know, made her drink all this shit and dance and all that shit. And don't come at me and say, oh, well, he had his motivations. They're listed in book 2. We're talking about book 1, baby. He was an asshole. He gave me the heebie-jeebas the first time I read this book. I didn't like Rhysand. I thought he was a nasty bastard. And he is a nasty bastard in this book. And I think he should have done more under the mountain. Also, I feel like the bargain was kind of like just Rhysand poking the Tim Tam bear. And the last unpopular opinion that I have is that if I were a Fae, I would have probably just walked out and not resurrected Feyre for what she gave. No. The bitch that was literally slaughtered hanging on the wall. What about for what she gave? For what Feyre gave? She was a fucking hot mess through the whole thing. And she didn't even figure out the fucking riddle answer until she was already dead. If I was Faye, I would have just walked out of that bitch and left that human woman to die. I'm sorry. And in conclusion, the entirety of the Spring Court all have horrible tan lines. Feyre is the biggest ding-dong in the entirety of the book, and Lucian sucks. So those are some of my ACOTAR unpopular opinions. Let me know down below what your unpopular opinions are for ACOTAR. I would love to know. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. I hope you guys have a fan-fucking-tastic day, and I will see you next time.